welcome to another video. In this lesson, we're going to be focusing on solving simultaneous equations. And here we have some guidance that we're going to be working with to solve these simultaneous equations. We are going to be looking for these three conditions all the time. And if they're not there, we create them. So the first thing we're going to be looking for is the same variable, same coefficient or the number that is multiplying the variable, and different signs. Let's have a look at different signs at the moment. When I look here at the equations, this is equation 1 and this is equation 2, I can see that all of the equations, both equations here, they have the same sign. And because I want different signs, I need to change the signs on one of the equations. To do that, all I need to do is to put a negative here, a negative there, and a negative there. And now I would have different signs when I compare equations 1 and equation 2. I can see that for one of the variable. So if I zoom in right here with y, and I'm going to be doing that comparison, I can see that we have the same variable, we have the same coefficient, which is going to be 1, and the signs are now different. Once I have these conditions, then I will be adding. Okay, so let me just rewrite these two equations in their new form. So we have minus 3x minus y is equal to negative 7. So now that we have these conditions, we can see that we are going to be adding because those three conditions are now being met. Okay, so we're going to be adding these together. And adding a negative will always be the same as just subtracting. So we have 5 take away 3, which is just going to leave us with 2, so this becomes 2x. These are opposites, and that's what we're aiming at the moment. We're going to be eliminating, okay? So this method that we're using at the moment is method of elimination, so we're eliminating the y's. Then 11 take away 7 is going to leave us with 4. So now 2x is equal to 4. We're always searching for one of the variable, therefore 1x is what we need. So 2 divided by 2 would give us 1, therefore we need to divide the right side by 2 as well. So 4 divided by 2 would have been 2. So now that we have the value of one of the variable, we're going to say sub x is equal to 2 into, and at this point we choose the equation that we want to sub it into. We can sub it into equation 1, equation 2, or even equation 3, which was this new equation that we have right here. I'm going to choose equation 1 to substitute it into. So here we have 5x plus y is equal to 11. Anywhere that I see x in this equation, I am now going to open a bracket and I'm going to be putting 2 inside of that bracket. So I have 5, open a bracket for x, and then I'm going to substitute the value of 2 inside of that bracket. And I continue with my equation. So 5 multiplied by 2 is going to give us 10 plus y is equal to 11. We know that the answer here is going to just give us 1 for y, because 10 plus 1 would be equal to 11, but I'm just going to be using the balancing method to make sure that we are being consistent here. So we're going to be subtracting 10 from both sides, and therefore opposites will cancel. So y is going to be equal to 11 take away 10, which is just going to be 1. So we can say that when x is equal to 2, then y would be equal to 1. And that would have been our solution to the equations here. Let's have a look at question number 2. Similarly, we're going to be looking for the same variable, same coefficient, and different signs. If we don't have these conditions, we are going to be creating those conditions. So let's have a look firstly at this variable and their coefficient. So we have k, same coefficient. We don't have the same coefficient here, and also the signs are not different. So let's have a look at the next variable and their coefficients. So here, when we're comparing, we can see that we have the same variable n. We don't have the same value for the coefficient, but we have different signs. So that's a very good indicator at the moment that we could do something here. We also recognize that we can turn that 4 into an 8 by multiplying by 2. So that is exactly what we're going to be doing at this stage. So we're going to be multiplying this equation by 2 throughout. So this is my equation 1, that's my equation 2. So I'm multiplying equation 1 throughout by 2. So let's do that. So 2 multiplied by 4k is going to give us 8k. 2 multiplied by positive 4n there is just going to give us a positive 8n, is equal to 2 multiplied by 12 is going to give us 24. And I rewrite equation 2 as it is. So we have 3k minus 8n is equal to negative 13. So from this, we can see that we're going to add. So we're going to be adding the equations now, because we can see that when we're making the comparison, here we have met all 3 conditions over here. Same variable, the same coefficient, and they have different signs. So we're going to be adding. So now we have 8k plus 3k, which is going to give us 11k. These are opposites, therefore these are going to cancel, and that would now be equal to 24 take away 13, which is going to leave us with 11. So we have 11k is equal to 11, and we're always searching for one of the variable. So therefore we have divided by 11 on both sides. So therefore 11 divided by 11 is just going to be equal to 1. So now we're going to state that we're going to sub k is equal to 1 into, and we choose the equation. At the moment, we want to choose the one that is mostly positive, and equation 1 looks good. So we're going to be doing that with equation 1. So let's rewrite equation 1. So we have 4k plus 4n is equal to 12. And then anywhere that I see k in this equation, I am going to be substituting 1. Open a bracket, put 1 in. So 4, open a bracket, put that 1 in, 4k. And then we're going to be continuing from there. 4n is equal to 12. So 4 multiplied by 1 is going to give us 4, plus the 4n is equal to 12. At this point, you need to ask yourself which side is the variable on. The variable is on the left-hand side of the equal sign. Therefore, this 4 right here, we need to bring it to the right-hand side. So we're going to be subtracting 4 from both sides. And doing so, opposites are going to cancel. This is going to leave us now with 4n is equal to 12 take away 4, which is just going to leave us with 8. So please keep in mind, we're always searching for one of the variable. Therefore, I want 1n or just n. So I'm going to be dividing both sides there by 4. 8 divided by 4 is going to be 2. So we can finish off with a final statement. So when k is equal to 1, n is equal to 2. And that would have been the solutions there to this question. I would like for you to pause the video and have a go at this question. Okay, welcome back. If you had a go, let's have a look at the solution to this one. So firstly, again, we are going to be looking for the same variable, same coefficient, different signs. Once we have these conditions, then we're going to add. If we don't have these conditions, we create those conditions. Okay, so again, I can see from the equations, equation 1 and equation 2, everything is positive at the moment. But keep in mind, we need different signs. So I'm just going to be changing the signs on equation 1. So everything there, all the signs are going to change. So this is going to become a negative. I'm going to change this positive into a negative and change that positive there also into a negative. Now I have different signs. So that's good. The second thing that I'm going to be doing, let's now start comparing what's going on with P. So this is where we are at the moment, comparing P. So we can see that we have the same variable. We have a -1 and a +2. So we have two different signs there, and we have the same variable. Since this is a 1, a -1, that -1 can now become a -2. So I can get a 2 in equation 1 because I can multiply 1 times 2 to get the same coefficient but with different signs. Therefore, this is the one that I'm going to be working with. Okay, so what I'm going to now do is I am going to be multiplying this equation now by 2. Multiply there by 2, multiply there by 2. So now I'm here, so let's do that. 2 times -1 is going to give us -2, so -2p. 2 times -5 is going to give us -10, so -10q is equal to 2 times -25, which is going to give us -50. Equation 2 will come back, so we have 2p plus the 3q is equal to 22. So again, let's do the comparison so we can see this is what we wanted. This is what we wanted. Okay, we want the same variable. We want the same coefficient, but we want different signs on those coefficients. So therefore, this is where we are at the moment, and we're now going to be adding. We can see that this one, they are opposites. Therefore, these are going to cancel. And we have the -10 plus the 3, which is going to give us our -7q. And -50 plus 22, we're going to be left with -28. So we're looking for only one of the variable. So we're going to be dividing both sides there by -7. So we want a 1q. So therefore we're going to divide both sides by a -7 and dividing this side also by a -7, which is going to now give us a negative divided by a negative would be a positive, and 28 divided by 7 is going to give us 4. So therefore we're now at q is equal to 4. Now that we have found the value for one of the variables, we're going to state sub q is equal to 4 into, and then we choose the equation that we would like to substitute it into. So keep in mind what equation 1 was. So equation 1 was just P plus 5Q is equal to 25. Therefore, I can simply go back and write that equation down now, because that's the simpler of the two. You can choose any one of the equations to put it back into, but I always work with the simpler or the simplest one there is. So P plus 5Q is equal to 25. And anywhere that I see Q, I am going to open a bracket and put 4 on the inside. So P plus 5, Q comes next. Therefore, I open a bracket. I put my 4 on the inside, and then equals to 25. P plus 5 multiplied by 4 is going to give us 20, is equal to 25. So again, which side is the variable on? The variable is on the left-hand side of the equal sign. Therefore, I am going to be taking away 20 from both sides. Opposites are going to cancel. Well said. Well done. So P is now going to be equal to 25 take away 20, which is just going to leave us with 5. Therefore, we can say when Q is equal to 4, then P is equal to 5. I would like for us to have a go at the following questions just to test our understanding of the concept so far. So keep in mind we're working with the same variable, same coefficient, but they must have different signs. And once you have satisfied all 3 conditions, you're going to add. So pause the video and have a go, and then you will see the solutions coming up after. Welcome back if you had a go. So these would have been the answers to the questions. So very well done if you had gotten those answers there. I hope that after watching this video, you have turned your "I didn't get that" into "Oh, now I get it." Please like, comment, subscribe and share, and turn on your post notification bell so that you can receive updates whenever we upload new contents just for you. I will see you in the next one. Have a lovely day.